What do we say, fam? Welcome to Simplexity, a little podcast where we take seemingly complex matters and attempt to make them plain and simple. My name is Sammy Foster with the one and only co-host, worth having. Ooh. And a dapper shirt to boot.
This is my current favorite shirt.
I like that shirt. That would probably be my favorite shirt that you rock. Ooh. Actually, that's the only shirt that I like that you rock.
There we go.
Nevertheless,
we're starting off on a good note.
Yes,
I like
we
it.
are.
Yeah.
And today is altogether special for reasons being that I'm going to allow you to announce and make those that are listening and or watching aware of, and that is?
Well, we've been telling everyone that we had a 30th episode coming up, and it's recorded in front of a live studio audience. Let's hear you. So we just cut to the crowd shot. That's beautiful. What a lovely group of friends here.
Everybody looks so good. So good. And this is a not just a momentous occasion, but there's a lot that's surrounding this evening, this week, the forthcoming week, none of which is, I just want to make note that I have a birthday forthcoming, and that is the day following Father's Day. That would be June the 19th. I just want to take every opportunity to make people aware of. But you, little partner, just recently had a birthday, did you not?
Just yesterday. That's right.
Just yesterday.
I thought they might clap for that one, but they didn't. 28, who cares?
28. And he is way wise beyond his years. I make that known all the time. You impress me. You're handsome. You got good hair. Tonight you got a good shirt, and I'm going to add to your collection because I got a little birthday present for you. Uh-huh. And, there seems to be another birthday present forthcoming. But this, I bought you, reason being is because you, forget that one.
Okay.
Forget that one. I got this for you because you
love surprises.
Green. You love green. You always wear green. Just for the audience, for those that view Simplexity, do you notice that Boots is always rocking green? Have we noticed that? Hannah?
What was that?
Hannah in the house. Where's Hannah? He doesn't?
Well, I have a couple.
He does at work. It's fine.
Okay. Maybe that's a work
It's my
color.
work uniform.
Well, be that I thought that you had an infinity for green. I got you this. I would like for you to show our guests what it is that I got you.
Oh my gosh, this is hideous. I thought they were swim trunks for a second.
Hey. Why don't you reach into that bag, little partner, because we're not done.
It's kind of good, actually. I kind of like it. And then James is like, I'm already wearing something similar. Yeah, best friend. Oh, there are swimming trunks. Great. Can you just imagine if I actually wore this like to the beach, like the shirt?
I plan on you wearing that to the beach.
He's like, you better on your vacation and send me a picture.
When Ruth and I go to Miami, I got a little matching set. You can only rock that in Miami. You'll get jumped if you're down in Ocean City rocking that. So don't even try it. But if you so
I'm
happen
not going to Ocean City.
All right, but happy birthday.
Surf and Swim Co. Thank you.
Sure. I love you. Happy birthday.
Well, happy birthday.
28.
What's the other one?
The other one is right there.
Can I open that or
you
no?
sure can. Yep. That's from Mike.
It's from Mike?
It is from Mike. Mike loves you.
Well, he's walking away now, so.
Don't do the card first. Yeah. Card later.
Isn't that
Can
typical?
We do the card
Don't you
later?
do the card first?
Nah, I know that's protocol,
Come
but
on,
not
Cam.
not tonight. Just rip it open.
This one's for you, Nelson. Boots. He's so happy. I love it.
Yeah. Put him on the table.
If I'm ever feeling down, I'm going to just look to him. Okay. Thank you, Mike. I appreciate it.
Yes. All right.
What else we got?
Nothing else. Nothing
Any
else.
more presents?
I do not. But I just want to say to our live audience how grateful we are that you would come and spend the evening with us. What it took was a lot for you over the course of the last 3 seasons, or maybe you're just a brand new listener, viewer, wherein we just want to say thank you for giving us your attention. We know this day and age, it's a big, big deal for you to give your attention delegated to any such thing. Be the fact that you would give us your attention. We wanted to celebrate that this evening by talking about the economy of attention. I think it's a big discussion that's taking place worldwide, all the more in our present culture, but the economy of attention is something that we should consider. I think it's something that has implications to it, while at the same time it has detrimental implications to it.
That it does.
And by way of example, I think you have a few questions.
Okay, well, it's more of an interactive activity for the audience who's here. Everyone, if you could please get out your phone for me real quick. And now text the number on your screen. I'm just kidding. So once you do that, go ahead. Miss Vic, that means you too. Go ahead and slide to your screen time activity.
Here we go.
Yeah. I'm just going to be honest with you guys. I'm going to share mine. Sammy had his turned off so that he would be somehow immune from this activity. My daily average is 3 hours and 16 minutes. Who would be bold enough to say you're over 4?
Wow.
Christian, give me that screen time, babe. Yeah. Oh, so 8 hours plus for entertainment. Okay. So where we're at is actually culturally, we're watching that the amount of time spent on our phones, but specifically the amount of times that we're touching our phones and or are activating our phones is 4 times what it was in 2019. So in 4 short years, we've upticked 4 times the amount of activity on our phones, which is, sociologists are correlating that it is absolutely decreasing our attention span. So in 2020, our attention span was somewhere in the realm of 12 to 13 minutes. By 2015...
Seconds.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, even less than that.
I should know that.
Yeah.
I preach for 55 minutes. I lose everybody at about quarter of the way through. 12 to 13 seconds is what our attention span was. By 2015, it was down to 8.4 seconds. So in 15 years, it went down 4 seconds. So now we're averaging an attention span. The average American has an attention span of somewhere around 6.5 seconds. Just to put that in relative scale, a goldfish has the attention span of 9 seconds. So what's happening is our uptick in use of phones are greatly decreasing our ability for any one thing to hold our attention. We only spend anywhere from 10 to 20 seconds on any given website and or page. And so what's happening now is that it's having all of these sociological outfalls, if you will, and we don't know how to get a grip on it because technology is only getting faster and faster, but it's taking shape in the way that you and I not only have relationships, not only are able to communicate one with another, what we find satisfies us when we're viewing something, reading something, being in solitude for any length of time, we just don't know how to. And this now is shaping our culture. Actually, just so we're aware, when it comes to screen time, a recent survey with teens, a recent survey determined that if teens spend 1 hour or less on screen time daily, there's really no sociological detriment that happens to them. But if they spend 1 hour to 3 hours, there's a 30% increase in suicidal ideation. Just 1 to 3 hours. If they're on their phone over 5 hours on any given day, there's a 71% increase of suicidal ideation. So you're probably wondering, how long does the average teen spend on their phone? And the national average is 9.5 hours. 9.5 hours. So, obviously, I got kids. I got kids, and I'm watching Lucia, and I'm watching Ash, and I'm watching Cy, and I'm watching their screen time. And the thing about screens is that what they're saying is that screens, specifically as it pertains to social media and or YouTube shorts, reels, things like that, it's more addictive than alcohol and or drugs. So there's an addiction aspect to it.
But there's also the elements of it like comparison. So they're
Totally.
comparing themselves to the people that they see.
Totally.
Cyberbullying is kind of showing up in those kind of aspects as well.
100%.
And so when you look at those figures and how it increases based off of the screen time increase, it's worth looking at how often are we on these things.
Totally. And so marketers or influencers or anybody with any platform whatsoever have sort of dove into the economy of attention. Yeah. And the economy of attention is such a hot market because we're fixated with screens right in front of us.
And we're the product.
And we are the product. Little partner, we are the product. And so these little rectangles that we have right here that provide so much convenience and access and connection and what have you.
And they're functional tools for work.
Yes, they are.
They're helpful.
Totally. I was noting the positives. I don't need you to help me.
Okay.
I was noting the positives that Christian noted earlier. We have to be on them for work, and they do add a robust aspect to our lives. Mm-hmm. We're able to check things.
We can be entertained too.
We can be entertained.
You can watch Simplexity.
You can know where your bank account is at any given moment.
I don't want to do that.
You can Life 360 your kids, know exactly where they are on Ritchie Highway. I do that, and you will do that too.
Life 365?
No, Life 360. Life 360. It's a little app, so where Asher's phone is where Ash is, and now I know where Ash is.
Okay.
I got any parents in the house that use Life 360? Amen? Or not parents, or just any really suspicious spouses? Right on. All right, yeah. Tell the truth, shame the devil.
Yeah.
But what we've realized is that there are some aspects about our phones that are not good.
That is correct. And we also have a little article here, 11 reasons to stop looking at your smartphone.
Yeah.
And so we're going to delve into those reasons now, and I think it'll be enlightening for us.
Totally.
So
what's number one?
Number one, smartphones damage your eyes. So I think that, James, correct me if I'm wrong, that has a lot to do with the blue light. Okay. All right, James, never mind. If you're not going to tell me I'm right, don't say anything. So,
yes.
What's next?
Number two is that smartphones make you unlikable. Huh.
Hasn't worked on me.
This isn't your reality, but for some it is. And reason being is because smartphones and the fact that people now would rather communicate via text rather than a phone call or via digital rather than face-to-face, I think, and I would like to engage my fellow friends here, I think it's decreasing our ability to be social.
Yeah.
Like, people flat out do not know how to be social. Like we're doing.
They hate to mingle.
Yeah.
You know?
And they're all single.
Oh, that was good.
They're all single. They sit in bedrooms. They text by way of communication. One of the beautiful things is that I taught Ash is, hey, when we interface with men and women, we shake hands, we look one another in the eye, we allow them to hold our attention. We, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, yes, sir, no, sir. We engage them. We look interested. Ash is a wonderful communicator. I would just like to say you're a wonderful communicator.
Oh.
Yep. Lucia's got some work to do. But I think that it really is affecting our ability to socialize and to intermingle, to meet strangers, to show ourselves friendly, to understand our facial expressions, body language, self-awareness, whole 9 yards. Why? Because when this is your real-time sort of reciprocity, this is what you're reading. When you text, there's not a lot of nuance. when you communicate digitally, there's not a lot. You don't have to work
There's
at
a
all.
lot to hide behind.
You 100%.
There's
And
a lot
so,
of security.
yeah, it just makes you unlikable. I think
Yeah.
that's a very blunt way of saying it, but
Yeah, but really what it's getting at is it decreases your social prowess, or at least your interactions.
Totally.
In person. Next up would be smartphones are bad for your neck. So I feel like, I don't know, I have such bad posture. I'm probably just painful to watch on this podcast because I will edit the episodes and I'll look at myself and I'm like, what'd you say, Pastor Sammy? And I'm sure a lot of that is from I've actually had people imitate me texting. Like there's a cam texting posture, and it's something similar to.
yeah.
So I would attest to this one.
And Beck and I realized the other day, Beck was trying to make the point that what our phones have created was this indentation in our pinky.
Mm-hmm.
So those that hold your phones.
Yeah, look at your pinky, everyone. Your right pinky.
And sort of rub between knuckle and if there's a dip in there.
But how does Cam hold his phone?
Yeah, but
so-
Cam Boots holds his phone real dainty.
No, not dainty.
Yes, it is. It's a bit dainty. It's full. It's full-handed.
Full hand.
All you need is 4 fingers. These two, the thumb, and this little guy is the foundation.
I've never seen that
Your
before.
whole hand.
You can't even do it.
No, I can't.
You're
do
about to
it.
drop the phone on the table. This is what I do.
That's whole hand.
Hello. I do this. But guess who doesn't have an indent on his pinky?
Okay.
This guy. Amen. Okay.
Yeah, so
All right.
I win that round. Let's see.
Smartphones are bad for your sleep.
It's true.
Why is that?
That's the blue light, right, James? Thank
Yeah.
you. Okay. And of course, you're checking that as you go to bed, so
Yeah.
that one makes sense.
So actually, the University of Essex says many people have a hard time putting down their cell phones before bed. When your Twitter interactions are going crazy, taking one more look is hard to resist. I don't do this at all, do I, Bugs? Unfortunately, a number of studies have revealed that using LCD screens, especially close to your face, can upset your natural sleep cycle. The blue light that they give off has been theorized to inhibit the production of melatonin, the hormone that induces sleep. Our eyes are accustomed to absorbing blue light from the sun in daylight hours, so when we get it at night, it disrupts the
Good heavens.
What's that?
Oh, circadian.
Circadian rhythms that spur us to rest at night and wake us in the morning. Okay, so hey, do with it what you will, but it's not good for you.
Yeah, everybody listening is like, I'm not going to do anything with that.
Right.
I'm still going to check my phone right before I go to sleep. Next one would be that they carry bacteria.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's gross. Becca was saying that they're worse than a toilet seat. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Fact check.
I'm gonna look it up. Hold up.
Yeah.
All right.
Smartphones can damage your hands.
Yeah, we visited that one.
In 2013, just to clarify that previous point made, the term text claw was coined to describe the cramping or the soreness caused by too much mobile phone usage. Holding your fingers in the position necessary to keep your mobile steady while you tap and swipe can cause inflammation and tendon issues. These things are all kinds of beneficial, aren't they? Let's keep going.
So wait. Your
Yeah.
phone, University of Arizona found that your phone is 10 times dirtier than a toilet seat.
Goodness gracious.
10 times. That's a lot of times.
I mean,
Enough said.
That is unreal.
Yeah,
Okay.
That's unsightly. Smartphones make driving dangerous, but of course we all know that.
That's a given. Hold on. Let me underpin that,
All right,
partner.
go ahead.
A study from Virginia Tech Transportation Institute shows that people using their phones behind the wheel double their chances of being involved in an accident. Of the 37,133 traffic deaths in 2017, 14% involved viewing a cell phone while driving.
14%?
Yeah. So that would be a lot.
That is a lot.
That is a lot. Let's go.
Next one. Now, this one's a little silly, I think. But it's smartphones make walking dangerous. Now, I get it. Like, if you're on your phone and then you walk into somebody, you walk into the street, something like that, I get it. Really quick, before you comment on this.
Okay.
There was this video that came out, I don't know, it was like 10 years ago or something, called Look Up. Does anyone remember this? You guys do? Wow, that felt so good. I was prepared for no one to know what I was talking about. But it like followed the story. I think it was this guy who he would look down at his phone everywhere he went, and so he like missed out on certain opportunities. And then it showed him in the same situation, and he didn't look down on his phone, and that's when he met the love of his life, because he like asked someone for directions. And then it like showed his life play out, and him getting married, and him like buying a house and everything, and it was a perfect life. And then it rewound, and it was to the day that happened, but he was on his phone, and so he missed it. And then it ended, and it was like, look up. Never forgot that. And that's why I'm at 3 hours of screen time a day.
Well, actually, that stat is more rooted in European countries and in Asian countries, because in those countries, both continents, if you will, overseas authorities are already addressing the issue from mobile phone sidewalks in China to in-ground traffic signals in Australia and the Netherlands. In-ground traffic signals. I have no idea what that means.
Sounds
But it
pretty
means that
intense,
there's a
though.
problem
Yeah.
of people walking and staring at their phone.
Okay. Next one would be, we only got 2 left, I believe, correct?
Yeah.
So second to last is phones are altering our brains. Maybe. It's in parentheses. Maybe. So that has to do with, I assume, like dopamine levels,
Yep.
but go ahead and underpin that one for us.
Scientists observed a visible increase of about 7%, but another study found that people who constantly take in more and more form of media at a time say that if you find yourself using your phone while watching TV, nobody here does that. But for people that do that, tend to have smaller gray matter area in the anterior cingulate cortex. This is the part of the brain that is responsible for setting goals and following through. Essentially, your phone is not helping you with that procrastination problem. In 2018, a study was done at the Swiss Tropical and Public Health Institute in Basel, Switzerland, and they found a link between the microwave radio frequency electromagnetic fields emitted by wireless communication devices, and noted that, I'm sorry, it wasn't going anywhere with that. Anyway.
Just gave up.
I don't know
on
who
it.
printed this, but it's terrible, okay?
This is what happens when you storyboard without me.
But with all those big words, I got to conclude it's not good.
Yeah. Something about microwaves and
Yeah, microwaves and functions and communications. Noted testing on a wider scale must be done before a conclusion can be reached. All those words.
yeah, all of it really said, but we don't know.
Bunch of word salad for nothing.
Okay. Well, what about
Okay.
the last one? Because I think this is one that we can all relate with.
Yeah,
I
go
would
ahead.
say. So this one says smartphones can make you hallucinate. Now, before you think I'm crazy, has this ever happened to you where you're standing there and you feel a little zzz, zzz, and you're like, oh, somebody texted me.
Right.
No notification.
Yeah. So it's like a phantom vibration.
Phantom, that's what they call it, right?
Yeah.
Phantom.
Like a phantom vibration. So you're so used to feeling your phone, or that you can feel it. Like the other day, I was working in the yard, and I checked it like 10 times thinking somebody was,
Quit texting me.
yeah, and not
You're
one.
just in the yard
and
yelling
I
by
thought
yourself.
for sure something was vibrating my rear end. So I kept pulling it out and looking, nothing. And I thought, that is so weird. Then we read this the other day, and I think that there's something in there that is causing the good vibrations.
Yeah, but we won't attempt to explain that scientific.
No. But this is a problem. And so here's the issue at hand. The issue at hand is that we are part of a culture right now, living in a day and age, that these phones are really shaping how we communicate, how we socialize, and how we think, and what it is that we give our attention to.
Yeah, and all those stats that you said on the front end of when we're seeing increased screen time, it's leading to mental unhealth in various ways.
Absolutely. And I think it'd be very easy for us to sit here and to speak very pronounced about the negative aspects of phones, social media, screen time, the whole 9 yards. And I'm not going to belabor that. But when you start to consider the depression rates, the anxiety rates, suicidal ideation, what it's doing to our teens, a culture of comparison, what we have to conclude is this is moving and trending in a very bad direction. We haven't even spoken yet to the fact that you and I and those brothers and sisters that sit within this room are called to be followers of Jesus. Followers of Jesus that root our lives as the branch into the vine, root our souls into the living Word of God, the person of Jesus, His presence, His truth, so as to derive life and understanding so that we can pilgrimage on our way to heaven, to our celestial city.
Yep.
I'm reading Pilgrim's Progress, so I've belabored that as of late. That's coming out Monday in our heaven episode. That's right. Just a little tipped hand to what's forthcoming. But all of that, the scripture describes Satan as the prince of the air. And I've often found that really, when you think about the fact that even as scripture says that this is his dominion, this side of glory, that when we think about the prince of the air and we think about radio waves and we think about transmissions and we think about satellites and we think about these and we think about all that's taking place right now, truth be told, I know this is going to sound very sort of dramatic, but he's got the lock. I'm not saying it can't be redeemed and that we can't derive truth from and gospel-centered, entertainment from and life-giving information from. But what I do want to say is, by and large, the enemy of our soul has zapped our attention to where we have 6.5 seconds worth of attention to give to any one thing. How then can we productively wait upon the Lord? How can we sit in his presence and listen for his still small voice? How can we spend time in the textile of scripture, turning pages and reading it? As David said, he says, "Oh, how I love to delight myself in your law. Day and night I meditate on it."
Meditation.
Yeah, how do you do that when these things have subtly but suddenly zapped all of our attention and have caused an addiction to where we got to look at it? And yes, I'm not saying that everything we're looking at is negative, but even if it's not negative, Paul the Apostle said not everything is permissible, not all is beneficial. Yep. And so I don't believe, even the enemy, Satan comes parading as an angel of light, meaning he's too smart to make it look demonic with skulls and crossbones. So if he can just preoccupy us so that all of our bandwidth goes to it, how do we have reservoir or bandwidth or capacity to root ourselves in Jesus?
Let alone ministering to anyone else.
100%.
Because you can't give what you don't have. So,
I like that.
Thank you.
I like that. I've heard that
before.
No,
but, a tool that we can use, we shouldn't be surprised to see that the enemy can also use that tool.
100%.
So
absolutely.
So then all that being said, what's kind of the approach that we should take when it comes to phone use, attention, screen time, in order so that we can, not be maxed out at all times?
Totally. So I want to give two things just for our awareness. Going forward, we'll land the plane here. You can put your tray tables up, but I'm just going to give you two quick nuggets just to be mindful of from the very words of King Jesus. First and foremost is what Jesus said in Matthew 6:22. He said, This is a big statement. We could allow this to percolate for a long, long time. But Jesus said that the eye is it's essentially where we derive that the eyes are the window to the soul. So he says, the eye is the window to the soul. If the eye goes dark, the whole body goes dark. But if the eye is light, he says, then the whole body is bright. Now, he said that essentially he's talking about what we allow in our eye gate. I would even take that, just extending what we allow in our ear gate, our mind gate. What goes in either edifies our body or it breaks it down. It either brings the light of Christ to an exuberant level, or it begins to diminish it. But it all happens through the eye. It's pretty incredible when you think about that scientists can't even really unpack the complexities of the eyeball, like how the neurons all connect, goes to your brain, creates imagery we take in. Like, it is unbelievably fascinating about your and my biological construct, and God made us to see all of his incredible creation. But if that eye goes dark, or if the intake therein goes outside of his desired will, then the whole body begins to lie in the wake of it. And so our eyes, I think more now than ever, actually it's always been that, more now than ever, should be considered what it is that you're giving your eyes attention to, because it affects everything about you. The incredible thing is that statement was made right after Matthew 6:21, where it says, where your treasure is, your heart is also. I think for all intents and purposes, what we can say is that where your treasure is where your attention is. What you give your attention to is what your heart then becomes tethered to. And so there's a reason when you consider teens that are spending 9 hours a day on a screen. You would think 9 hours a day on a screen, the natural fallout, if I was to, like if somebody would say, what do you think the fallout of that would be? I would say just exhaustion. Staring at any one thing for 9+ hours I would just be tired or angry. Just stared at something for 9.5 hours.
Yeah,
I don't
drained,
know.
regardless.
Their fallout is suicidal ideation.
Yeah,
they want to take their life.
You're not just staring at a painting or at a picture. You're staring at comparison. You're staring at bullying. You're staring at anger.
What you're not, what you can't have, what you don't have access to, what they do, all of this. You're telling me that the prince of the air, the demonic of our age, is not using that.
Why would you not?
Why would you not?
Yeah.
It's too easy.
Okay.
It's too easy. So I think for the believer, before we just slam phones all together, I'm
done with it.
And then I'm like taking it. Let me have that. I would just say that we have to wield it rightly. Okay. You have to wield it rightly. So you have to consider how often your eye is fixated on it. Like the average American, they pick up their phone 200 times a day. That means this is our precious. So this has become it. This has become what our attention goes to. This is where our treasure is. Yeah. The question is it really satisfying your soul, or is it sucking the life out of you?
Okay, so point number one kind of being intake, right? You said you had 2, correct? Or did they blend in?
They both blended in.
Okay.
Matthew 6:21 and 22.
Gotcha.
So,
okay.
Yeah.
Now, I think a lot of us would probably agree with everything that you just said, and I certainly do. And that's something that I recognized in myself is I got to get, my mind gate, my eye gate under control, especially heading into the new year. That was one of my resolutions, is I wanted to decrease screen time, and I did to a degree, but I'm still at 3 hours. So, like, what is the practical?
I think you're doing pretty good, buddy.
Well, what's the practical step that someone who agrees with what we're saying in concept, but is like, but this is still, I can't stop, basically.
Yeah. I would think, number one, you have to mark what you believe is healthy and unhealthy for you. So number one, you can't defeat what you don't define. So you have to define what it is that you really believe. This is healthy, this is unhealthy. And set a benchmark in there. So for you, I like you said, I want to decrease my phone time, but you're still not satisfied with 3+ hours. So then you really need to define what you believe is good and healthy and feasible at the same time. And then discipline around that.
2 hours, 50 minutes. Okay.
Like, I think a lot of times we talk, we are, in our culture, we talk a ton about, physical wellness or body positivity or, this, we're out of control by way of, morbid obesity and things like that from, processed foods and on and on and on. So there's a ton of development when it comes to dieting, right? The problem is that we talk a ton about physical wellness, and then we talk a ton about mental wellness, but we never talk about the diet of the eye, or we never talk about the diet of our intake, or we never talk about the diet of what's influencing us. I think if we're going to have mental wellness and we're going to have physical wellness, it all applies, the same principle applies. We got to diet. We got to diet, or we got to actually, so we diet from bad things, and then we change that to intake of good things. This is why David said, oh, how I love your law. Like now, here we are, we're under the new covenant, thank Jesus. We're under the covenant of grace, whereas we don't live according to the old covenant. David in the Old Testament, this is pre-New Testament, remember now, he said, oh, I love your law. Oh, I meditate on it day and night. Why? Because for David, those were the guardrails that kept him on the narrow path. It was the scripture. So he studied it, and as the prophets say, he ate it, he consumed it. The law wasn't a negative to him. The law were the guide rails that actually led him to life and life to the full. Now, of course, New Testament is going to say the law was the tutor to show us that we couldn't keep the law. But for David, it was God's spoken word that he wanted to consume and meditate on and stare at all the time. So for us, I think when we talk about, man, we have a mental health crisis, we have to consider that has to boil down to diet, of what we purge and then what we replace it with.
Yeah, and I like that idea. I just kept picturing broccoli throughout the whole time you were saying that. It's like, I don't want to just not eat this, but I got to eat broccoli too. Scripture's the broccoli of your soul.
Oh, don't say it like that.
Hang on. I like broccoli.
I don't. Ugh.
Well, I digress on that one.
We try something else.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, with that, we certainly appreciate everyone who joined this conversation in the studio. Let's give one more shout out to everyone here. It's been just real quick, Hannah asked me heading into this if I was nervous, and yes. No. I told her no, because what I feel heading into this episode is we're just in a room with a whole bunch of our really good friends. Yeah. And so it's been such an honor to have you guys here. I'm just humbled, and it's been a blast, so certainly appreciate you guys coming out, but we also appreciate you guys who are listening or watching online. If you want to know about upcoming opportunities to do something like this,
that's right.
That is right. We got a new email address. Heyo, that's something to get excited about. Email, yeah. So you can
more screen time
look on your phone. Back up. Let's get a fact check. What is that email?
So that's simplexity.podcast@gmail.com.
Ooh, it was open. That's good. So that's simplexity.podcast@gmail.com. Perfect. So how do they sign up for that, or do they just? Perfect. Link on the Instagram and on the YouTube description as well. Mm-hmm. Perfect. Well, we appreciate you guys following us, and thanks for being here.
So I'm not done. I still got things I want to say.
What do you want to say?
So, hey,
Do you want to talk about microwaves again? Because that went over well.
So I just want to say on this 30th episode, Boots and I set out to do this, as I said earlier, but a little over 9 months ago. And honest to goodness, this question comes to me often. In why is Boots your co-host?
How often do you get that question?
And what I get the opportunity to share is that you and I, we essentially grew up together. It's pretty amazing sitting at this table with you. And I think that this is such a picture of God's economy, of walking with people in the same direction over a long period of time, and then seeing their gifts, seeing their walk with Jesus, seeing their sort of idiosyncrasies all come to life. I've had the privilege. You're 28. I'm 33. So
Jeez.
I got 5 years on you to watch this. But when I was thinking about doing a podcast, I was thinking there's a perfect person, and it didn't take me long at all to think, oh, I know who that is, and that is the one and only Bootsy. So I would just like to say at the end of this 3rd season, it has been an amazing ride with you. I love you to death. This is going to be your off ramp, but I so appreciate you being with me this.
Could have gone either way. You could have been like, "But I'm leaving you now, pal." So and just how humbled this opportunity has been for me. I remember when you asked me to do this, I was like, I feel like I can think of about 3 or 4 other people just on staff that would be better. But when we started this podcast, my expectation, truthfully, was I wanted 15 people to listen. If we could get 50, because I know how saturated the podcast industry is, and so the fact that we have more than that in this room means so much to me, and it's been quite a ride, my friend, and I appreciate it.
Thank you for taking me with you. With that said, you can like and subscribe on the gram,
Look at you.
YouTube.
What's it called?
I don't know. We love you guys. And that's a cut.